Wouldn't it be awesome if you could just play piano instantly, like in the Matrix, just be able to download, zoom straight into your brain, or like do a Vulcan mind meld, and just be able to play right away? Like, if we could do that, we could get all of the music theory from my head straight into your head, then that would be awesome. Because then you could just go and just sit down and just play piano right away. Well, not really. Hi everybody, CJ here, welcome. So if you knew everything that I knew about music theory, would you be able to just go kick ass on piano right away? Well, probably not. There are 5 reasons why not. And with these 5 reasons, these are things that you can focus on as a beginner or intermediate or advanced at any stage of playing in order to improve your playing, because this has nothing to do with theory, okay? Now, these 5 reasons, like I said, we could just matrix right into your brain, you know, everything that I know. Why wouldn't you be able to play? Okay, well, let's start with touch sensitivity. Let's start there. If you knew the notes to play, would you actually be able to even press them down on the piano the way you want to? The answer is no. And that's because there's a mind-body connection between what you want to play and your fingers actually being able to play it. You've heard of people trying to play and their fingers just won't cooperate, or you've probably experienced that yourself. This is why we need to practice our scales and our arpeggios and all of that to develop our touch sensitivity. Which brings us to point number 2. Point number 2 is about muscle memory and endurance. We practice our scales and arpeggios because these are the basic building blocks of music, piano music in particular. But if I could transfer all of my music theory to you right away, you would know what to play, but you would not be able to get through a single song without your fingers and wrists and arms and shoulders all cramping up on you, because it's more than music theory. It's physical training. Touch and muscle memory, these are physical exercises that your body has to be trained to be able to do. Doesn't matter what you know in your head, you can't do it. You can't do it physically without proper training. That's why we practice our scales, arpeggios, and whatnot. So, the physical aside, we start going into more of the mental. Number 3, musical vocabulary and inner hearing. And by vocabulary, I don't mean musical terminologies or music theory. That's music theory. What I actually mean is how theory is used in different situations. For example, if I'm playing the song Summertime as a solo pianist, etc., etc. I could play it that way, but if I'm playing it, for example, if I'm as a duet with a vocalist, then I'll play it differently, even though the music theory is the same. It's the same chords, but it's approached differently. If she wants to do it a swing style, which is pretty common, I don't have to play the melody because it's being sung. And then if I play it with a band might decide they're going to play it in a Latin style. So again, the same music theory and no left hand included, no bass line included because there's a bass player and there's a singer. So I don't need to play the melody, I don't need to play the bass line. You know. I just may play something like that when I'm playing with the band, and the band fills in everything else. So, and also to keep in mind that every piano player, this is really it, every piano player is going to play these situations differently. Whether they're playing solo with a vocalist as a duet or with a band, right? Everybody's going to play it differently, but using the exact same music theory. No 2 people are going to play it alike because every person is individual. You're going to decide what to play during a particular song based on what you've heard in the past. This is your musical vocabulary. What you've heard and played in the past informs your musical vocabulary. All right? and also what you hear in your head based on what you've heard in the past. This is your musical vocabulary. It's not words, it's sounds, it's musical phrases, musical lines, riffs, quotes, these sorts of things, techniques, all of these things that you've developed over time, right? And they're each personal and individual to each and every one of us. Now, and the personal part of it brings us to number 4, which is emotional interpretation, right? This is where the rubber really meets the road right here, and it's the toughest one because it involves soul searching, because the more in touch you are with yourself, the better you can express yourself musically. So let's say our mind meld matrix type transfer included touch sensitivity, muscle memory, situational awareness, and full musical vocabulary. So then how would you then express yourself? What would you say musically? We know that every individual pianist is going to play things differently. But when it comes to this emotional interpretation, you've got to be able to draw on your own emotional experience and draw that up. Nothing to do with music theory. This is where real music starts to happen. All right? So it's about going inside yourself, getting to know yourself, and it goes beyond the mind-body connection, right? That's a physical connection. This is a soul, body, and mind connection. All three together, from soul to mind to body, all expressed through the instrument, right? That's how it happens. It's not about the sheet music. It's not about the theory. It's not about those things, right? It's about what you feel. It's about the soul, personality, yourself. Now, how do you develop these skills? Okay, the last one, number 5, public performance, performing in public. Now, that might seem like the end of the line. You practice and practice so that you can perform, but performance itself requires practice. You perform in public, and that stress and that pressure causes you to have to focus in a way that you don't usually do. You've heard people say, oh, I can play it, like students, they practice and they can play it when nobody's looking. As soon as the teacher's there or someone's there, then it all falls apart. Oh, I could play it before, but now it's all falling apart, right? That takes practice, and that pressure actually helps to make you a better musician. It helps with your emotional interpretation. It helps with your execution. It helps with your muscle memory, your touch. All of these things are enhanced when you go and perform in public. All right? So performance isn't the end of the situation. Performance is part of your education. It's part of your musical learning. All right, so those 5 things: touch, muscle memory, musical vocabulary, emotional interpretation, public performance, right? These things are made possible through the monotony of scales, arpeggios, and music theory. But these all together, all of the theory and all of the emotional and intellectual training and physical training, all of these things together are what allow you to be able to express yourself through music, fully and freely. So, that's about it. So, unfortunately, the matrix mind meld, osmosis transfer, whatever you want to call it, that's not going to work. But just being aware that as you practice, these are the things you're practicing towards. You want to develop your touch and your musical awareness and your ability to interpret music emotionally. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please like and subscribe. So thanks for watching and liking. Just keep playing.